welcome to Kermode Uncut. This time of the year, I usually look back over the first 6 months of the year and do a top 10 favourite movies of the year so far and least favourite films of the year so far. I'm going to do that, but before, I'm going to do another list, because looking over the list of releases since January 2014, there has been a stunning number of really interesting documentaries. So, for the first time ever, here is my midterm report on the top 10 documentaries of 2014 so far. At number 10, The Invisible War, a harrowing and extremely important documentary by Kirby Dick about sexual harassment in the US military.
Everything changed the day that I was raped.
He hit me in the head and knocked me out.
I remember holding the closet thinking, what just happened?
A month later, I found out I was pregnant.
If this is happening to me, surely I'm not the only one.
The film was actually made a couple of years ago, but it's been updated with a footnote which tells us that if anything, the problem is getting worse, which makes it all the more timely. At number 9, Dangerous Acts, in which the Belarus Free Theatre continue the struggle against Europe's last dictatorship.
Но все пропасть, диктатура и все остальное. Мы театр, мы будем играть.
There's a joke here in Belarus, they tell us, in which the election committee come to Lukashenko. They say there's good news and bad news. The good news is you won the election. The bad news is no one voted for you. At number 8, Kiss the Water, a documentary about the life and times of Megan Boyd, a legendary fly tie. She did hand-fashioned fishing hooks.
I mean, nobody knows why a salmon takes a fly.
Megan, when she was tying, her flies caught fish.
I think people realised that there was something really rather rare and special about her work, because people beat a path to her door from all over the world.
But they all stopped at Megan's wee house and got their flies.
That may not sound like the most interesting thing in the world, and believe me, you don't have to be interested in fishing to fall in love with Kiss the Water. It has beautiful use of animation, tells its story really lyrically, every now and then perhaps pushes a certain metaphor a little bit too far, but in general, I thought it was magical and enchanting. And as I said when it came out, don't let this be something that gets away. At number 7, As the Palaces Burn, which starts out looking like a Spinal Tap style documentary about the rock band Lamb of God, who to my ears sound like Pazuzu attempting to scrape off the inside of your head with a cheese grater. Halfway through, however, it turned into something quite different. When the band arrived in the Czech Republic and lead singer Randy Blythe was charged with the manslaughter of one of their fans who had died at a concert a couple of years earlier.
Your behavior is aggressive.
I don't have guilt over this, but it feels awful inside to me. I feel ethically obliged to at least give my side of the story.
It's not a story I can write, it's just a story I can live and hope for the best.
It's a very, very interesting documentary and shows the band standing up to their responsibilities quite extraordinarily well. I didn't go into it with any expectation at all, other than thinking I'm not crazy about their music, but I came out of it with a renewed respect for the band. At number 6, 20 Feet from Sodom, a terrifically lively and intimate account of the lot of backing singers.
My life has been all about trying to make a success of the gift that I had.
She was like the really hot one of the Ikettes. She was very hot, beautiful girl.
I don't set out to be the sex symbol.
But you post in Playboy.
I have only one criticism of this, and that's that it beat Joshua Oppenheimer's The Act of Killing to the Oscar for Best Documentary. The Act of Killing is a better film, but 20 Feet from Sodom is still pretty damn good. At number 5, The Square. We dreamed that one day all of Egypt would be like Tahrir Square, we learn in the documentary. But this covers the events from the 2011 uprising and what happened after that.
قول لي احنا هنعمل ايه دلوقتي عم مجدي؟ انا مش هفرح لما انت تاخد رصاصه في دماغك وتموت يعني.
لان هي طبعا حكايتنا محدش بيحكيها غيرنا احنا.
It was an extraordinarily timely documentary, very, very informative, very, very watchable, and packed with on-the-ground footage that really put you there at the centre of the unfolding action. At number 4, another musical documentary, The Punk Singer, which tells the story of Kathleen Hanna, lead singer of Bikini Kill and a front person for the Riot Girl movement. Again, a terrifically watchable documentary. In this case, I actually really do like the music.
There's this whole fear someone's going to say, I don't think so. Other people can think whatever they want, but they should have to stay out of my way.
What's great about it is seeing her making demands upon the crowd to rethink the way they behave and spearheading the Girls to the Front movement. An absolutely terrific documentary. At number 3, Tim's Vermeer, a documentary which asks, can an inventor with technical skills recreate the genius of a visionary artist? It's a film which really explores the boundary between art and science, between invention and inspiration.
There must be a way to actually get the colors accurate with mechanical means. I propped up a small mirror at a 45-degree angle right on the forehead. You can see that they match.
Holy cow.
It took me about half an hour to learn how to operate a paintbrush.
Good for you. It took me 40 years.
It comes up with some extraordinary answers. Sometimes you find yourself wondering, is this whole thing an elaborate hoax? In fact, it's so much more than that. It is a proper examination of the way in which the artistic mind and the scientific mind genuinely do meet on a genetic level. At number 2, and this is a surprise for me, a sports documentary, Next Goal Wins, the story of the American Samoa football team who famously lost 31-0 to Australia and ranked as the worst team in the world. The documentary follows their attempts to get up from the bottom of the world rankings, to become better than worse.
Hard bro, knees up, knees up. Come on, Streaky, baby, come on. Woo, I like it. Red card.
Soccer has become cynical and big business, and I don't want this to happen here. These guys play because they love the game.
I'll tell you this, I have never before punched the air whilst watching anybody score a goal. But during Next Goal Wins, I did, for the first and probably the last time. And at number 1, my favourite documentary of 2014 so far, it is of course Mark Cousins' extraordinary A Story of Children and Film. The scope of Mark Cousins' documentary making is absolutely breathtaking. And in this film, he leaps from Ozu to Spielberg to Panahi, from New Zealand to China to Russia. And he looks at the way in which children have been represented in and on and through film. And he does all this through the prism of a little video which he made of his nephew and niece playing in his front room. It's a wonderful piece of work, and it reminds us that Mark Cousins is so much more than a critic. He is an artist in his own right. He is somebody who responds to cinema in a way which is genuinely creative and inventive. And I absolutely love A Story of Children and Film, which so far is my best documentary of 2014. I'll tell you this, it's going to have to be something pretty special to knock that off the top spot by the time we get to the end of the year. Let's see what happens.